Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. If I have not had the pleasure to meet you, my name is Kumiega, and I am the very proud principal here at Cloverbank Elementary School. In years past and pre-COVID, we used to, at Parent Information Night, invite the parents to come to the auditorium, and we kind of did a little introduction and question and answer session. One of the opportunities from COVID are these amazing Google Meet videos that we're able to create and allow for a convenience factor for our families. We know how busy our families are, and we're very thankful that you take the time to come to Parent Information Night. So I just wanted to go over a couple of things, invite you and welcome you to our amazing school community. And, of course, I'll take any questions, obviously not on the video, but if you have any questions, feel free to email me anything that you have, or I will be here in the foyer on Parent Information Night to answer any questions you may have or to meet you. So Parent Information Night is this coming week. You should be getting this video, if everything works out wonderfully, on Monday, September 26th. Our Parent Information Nights are Tuesday, September 27th and Thursday, September 29th. On this video, I'm not going to say what time is which grade because that has been given or sent to you, and I don't want to goof up anything that has been sent to you already. When you enter the building, please feel free to go right to your children's classroom. If you are unsure where your classroom is, there will be a bunch of us in the foyer welcoming you and showing you kind of where to go. Also, in the foyer, we will have tables set up with laptops to help with any documents that you need to have completed. That link that was sent to you a couple weeks ago. We will show you how to log on to eSchool. You'll be receiving your students' numbers. I know a lot of parents were asking me for those for the eSchool app. So all of that information will be in the foyer, along with all of our special area teachers and our intervention specialists, so you can actually put a face to the name. And so we wanted to make sure that we were all here and ready to say hello and answer any questions you may have. So normally, like I said, we would be in the auditorium after your classroom meeting. So I'm just going to kind of go through my PowerPoint and then just refer to a document. So parents that were new to Cloverbank and in general, post-COVID, one of the opportunities I learned is that we kind of needed to make an ABCs of Cloverbank packet, if you will. So you will be able to pick up this as well in the foyer on Parent Information Night. In the foyer or maybe in your classroom. We're going to see what's most convenient for our families. And this is the kind of ABCs or how to Cloverbank. I absolutely beg you to kind of keep this handy or put it on your refrigerator or next to your refrigerator, because anything and everything you'd want to know about Cloverbank procedures, those kind of guidelines are in here. I am a mom of students that go to school here too, and I feel like I never know how to write a note or what time is pickup until that day. All that stuff is in here for your reference, okay? So I write a lot of notes because I'm sure if I've met you before, you know that I'm a talker. So like I said, my name is Kumiega, and I am the very proud principal here at Cloverbank. New York State law and education law asks us to tell you about our qualifications, if you will. So I am a certified teacher. I was a teacher actually here at Cloverbank for about 15 years. I have an undergraduate degree in elementary education, a master's degree in special ed, and then certificates of advanced study in educational leadership. I still maintain all of my certifications because I have not lost that passion and love for teaching. So I love doing it. So I'm certified in elementary ed, special ed, high school English. I'm certified to be a school building leader and a school district leader. This is my 7th year as the building principal here at Cloverbank, and I think my 22nd year here at Frontier as a teacher and a leader. I did go to Frontier, though. I'm a very proud alumni, so I feel like I've been here for most of my 49 years on this earth. I've been here at Frontier. I never left. So like I said, I've been the principal here for 7 years. I have taught 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, both as a general education teacher and an inclusion teacher. And I have held several different leadership roles in the district, including secondary summer school principal, which was one of my favorite. Of the staff that's here working with your students, please know that 100% of them are certified in New York State. I would say at this point, we're about 84% are dual certified. That means their certifications are in elementary and special ed or reading and elementary. So they hold specific licenses, if you will, in different aspects of education. We are very lucky here at Clover Bank that our median experience range, if you will, is about 15 years. So we are a very seasoned group of teachers, and we are very excited and love what we do, and love helping your students. For those of you that, like I said, I keep saying for those of you who know me, because I feel like I'm home, this is my family. I am married. I'm married to a teacher, a Buffalo Public School teacher. And when I tell you that I am a working mom of students that go to Frontier, I am. I have a senior in college, actually an alumni of Frontier. And then I have a freshman at the high school and a junior at the high school. So when I talk about communication later, I take that really seriously, because I often forget what the Spirit Day is, or when my child was supposed to wear red. So I make sure that I communicate with my families like I would like to be communicated with as a parent. And I said already that I am a graduate, a very proud alumni of Frontier, and I reside in Lakeview. So my drive to work is about 1.1 miles. So I'm living here and I'm going through the same things you are. I'd love for you all to know that absolutely guides what I do here at Clover Bank. So some Clover Bank initiatives. We did everything in our power to kind of get back to some normalcy last year, and we're just continuing on that path. For our parents that have seen the playground, our playground is almost finished. It was delayed because when they were digging the last part of the playground, they found a full basketball court. We built our playground on it. So it took a little bit of a delay, but we're almost finished. And as soon as that is open and ready, you will all get something so we can have a grand opening. At Clover Bank, we believe in purposeful volunteerism, and we will be accepting volunteers and adults back into the building this year. The only difference is if you are going to volunteer weekly or in a classroom daily, even, because we have some daily volunteers, we're going to do a little bit of a volunteer training. And those people, you don't need to know much about it. We're just like, no one get nervous. It's just a review or a meeting with me so we can just talk about some guidelines and make sure that you're prepared and that we're prepared for you as well. So you'll hear a little bit more about that, but just consider that if you are interested in volunteering in our school building. We are a culture of readers and learners. So we will continue with the accelerated reader. We will be continuing with PARP. We work really hard at being proactive and celebrating the good. I hope your children are going to come home and tell you all about Clover Club. We had our first official Clover Club on Friday. And that is where we celebrate all that's good with Clover Bank. We celebrate our readers. We celebrate birthdays. We celebrate the kind kid of the month. We celebrate green tickets and best bus behavior. I think we call it the Safe Bus Rider Award now, and the Golden Spatula. We really work hard here at Clover Bank to be, like I said before, proactive and lay that foundational work for our kids for social and emotional supports. We don't want to catch a child doing something wrong. We want to celebrate all the good. So hopefully you'll hear about the Golden Spatula and all that good stuff. And of course, especially for my littles, we are definitely a bucket filler school. If you're unsure what that is, ask your kids. Hopefully they'll be able to tell you. And if not, if you Google it, there's some awesome videos that kind of talk about being a bucket filler. Even though I am a lot older than 5 years old, I feel like I still focus on being a bucket filler myself. There's some outstanding application of ideas there. I will talk a lot about communication because it's important. And we have several ways to communicate. The quickest way is email for me, for this office, right? You can leave a message, but it usually takes me to the end of the day to get back to you. We have a Remind app. Those directions are also going to be at Parent Information Night if you need to pick them up. I put all of the kind of reminders on Remind, like it was Hat Day on Friday. So I put that out there. I try to use Blackboard. Now, Blackboard is the district's student information, not system, but it's the system that they have in place to make sure communication goes out. You do not have to sign up for Blackboard like you do for Remind. Blackboard, you are automatically entered into Blackboard when you register your student. So if you are not getting text messages or emails, sorry about that, folks, that's what happens in here. If you are not getting text messages or emails, you can let us know on Parent Information. I know we will show you exactly what you need to do to fix those. Because whatever you registered with, whatever email, whatever phone number, that is what's put on the system. So whatever you see in eSchool, when you log on, that is what we see, and that's what they use to connect to it. So Blackboard, don't worry about it. You are automatically signed up. Remind, you have to sign up. In both directions, we'll be here on Parent Information Night so we can help you. Okay? Just a few things. I know I feel like I've said this in every update that I've sent out for school, right? So I send an update, an instruction-based things that are going on at school around the 15th of the month or the second Friday, okay? And then at the end of the month, you'll actually get a paper calendar and a paper newsletter. I like to balance that out. I also know, especially during COVID, we had definitely like email exhaustion. I don't know about you, but we would get hundreds a day, right? So I want to make sure when you're getting an email from me via Blackboard, you know that it's filled with really important information. The remind, like I said, is the kind of updates, if you will. It's Red Day, it's Bills Day, those kind of things. Okay. So just a couple of things that we've run across so far. Please, 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 when you're sending something in like a note, please make sure you put your child's first and last name. My favorite note, because this is exactly what I've done before. I'm picking up my son today. And then I signed my signature. Okay. So you really should write, I'm picking up, like for me, it would be Trevor Kumiega at 1:30. His mother, me, Renee Kumiega, will be picking up Trevor Kumiega. Just, it helps us. Please and thank you. I know it seems kind of ridiculous, but if you could put first and last names, we would appreciate it. Make sure you take advantage of My School Bucks for the lunch. It's so much more convenient. But if you are sending in check payment, please make sure on the envelope it has your child's first and last name. We've talked about the notes for school. We understand emergencies. We do. We absolutely understand emergencies. But it's very difficult for us to take an early release call over the phone. Even harder if you just send an email and not give us a call. Our secretaries and myself aren't always able to get to the computer to get those notes. And we have had some hiccups in the past. So please just be mindful of that. We understand emergencies and please don't shy away from picking your child up for those reasons. But a daily call every day to pick up at 2:30, that is a challenge. And I want to make sure that we are putting our procedures so that they're student first and student safety first. Birthdays. That's in the parent reference guide, but just a quick snapshot. If you're using the school to hand out invitations, when you send them, it has to be all girls, all boys, or all of the kids. It puts us, the school, and the teacher in a difficult position if it's not that way, okay? Birthday treats. It's very classroom specific. We have gone to, not food treats in some cases. In some cases, we do food treats. So that is very classroom specific for obvious reasons when it comes to allergies, allergens, and classroom philosophy. I know one of my teachers invites parents in to read books. There's other ways we can make your child feel special other than just birthday cupcakes. So please adhere to that from your classroom teachers. And any questions or concerns with that, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I've sent it home a couple of times, but just a reminder, arrival of school is at 9:10. Our buses come from 9:10 to 9:20. We have breakfast in the morning for our students. Our school day proper, if you will, and that means when instructions and special starts, 9:30. Ending the day at around 3:30 to 3:35. So that's a very sacred time, if you will, 9:30 to 3:30. That's our instructional block. Dismissal announcements are at 3:30. The pickup door opens at that same time. Then we have walkers and right at school at 3:35, and our buses are called shortly thereafter. Like I said, we've been doing pretty good, and the last bus has been exiting about 3:46 every day this week. We were a little delayed today on Friday because we were doing some bus drills. But other than that, we're doing good. We have breakfast and announcements, so I think we're going in the right direction. So before I go over the parent, well, you know what? I'll save this to after. Like I said, I'm a talker, right? So the parent reference guide, there is everything that you're going to want to know in there, okay? From the school operations, nursing guidelines, the phone number, the guidelines for early dismissal, visitors. Keep in mind, I try to keep things very consistent. If you're coming during the day to drop off or pick up your children, you go right through our main doors. Any kind of pickups for whether it's a club after school or academic intervention classes that will be starting in the morning, you're always going to go to door 15. That's the small lot door. I try to keep that really consistent for our families, so you're not second guessing where you have to go. Okay. In this packet, it talks about school closing information. It talks a little bit more about the party invitations. It talks about the lunches, cafeteria guidelines, my school bucks. Like I said, the health services. It talks a little bit about our amazing nurse, Mrs. Yabro, and what is required for school, or the rule about the 24 hours with the fever, if you need to have medicine during the day. All of that guideline is in this amazing parent reference guide that we will be giving out at open house, or a parent information night, forgive me. We continue to talk about special areas in here, such as physical education and music. We talk about the offerings that we have for our students when it comes to clubs. We talk about band and orchestra, our clubs, art club and jazz band, student council, STEAM club, and builders club, which is a volunteer-based organization, which is amazing. And that's a partnership with our local Kiwanis and business leaders. There's a page on transportation, dismissal procedures, and then just an overview or a guideline of what we hold dear here at Clover Bank when it comes to school rules and our expectations: being respectful and responsible, be safe, and be your best. It also talks about kind of what you can expect from me when it comes to discipline. We, of course, believe in progressive discipline here at Clover Bank, and we believe in fixing it, not necessarily punishing, right? We want to make sure we're using each one of these issues, or if we have a concern, to learn from, a valuable lesson to learn from. And so that I talk about that in this packet as well. If your child's in my office, you'll hear from me. If it's hopefully it's a phone call. Sometimes I've had to do an email just to give a heads up, because I think that's important. I want to know. I want to know if my kids are in the office at school, even if it's for an innocent conversation. So I try to reciprocate that back to everyone. I also talk in here about cell phones and smartwatches. We're seeing more and more from kids. If they're coming in with a cell phone, which I understand there's reasons why kids have them, and it has to be off. And it has to be off on the bus as well. There cannot be pictures taken or videos. We have rules about that, if you will. And smartwatches, very much welcome. I think that's wonderful. They just can't be answering their texts or phone calls in the middle of the day. And just have a conversation with your children if they find that the watch may be distracting to them. Okay, I'll leave that. I say it a lot in my presentation, usually, like, you're your child's first teacher. So we learn from you and what's best for your children. I talk about parent-teacher communication, the school communication, where I talk about Blackboard and Remind. Again, it's all laid out there for you as well. I include the standardized testing dates and a list of our faculty and staff for you. The only other thing I want to talk about is interventions. Okay, so Clover Bank has worked diligently these past couple of years to assemble an intervention team. We absolutely believe in personalized education here at Clover Bank. If your child is struggling, or if your child needs extension, it needs to be pushed a little bit further, right? Is doing really well in something and should be challenged. So that's the definition, kind of personalized or differentiated instruction. We assess your children to see where they are, compare it to the standards in each grade level, and then we try to meet their needs, while engaging them in, thoughtful lessons, but also in lessons that engage them, excite them, connect them to school. And so in doing that, we have a pretty big team. Not only do we have these amazing classroom teachers and instructional support teachers at every grade level, but we have intervention team. We have OTs and PTs, speech and language pathologists that are here. We have, I'm going to actually look so I don't miss anybody. We have certified reading specialists. We have math specialists. We have, I said speech, OT, PT. We have a school social worker, a school counselor, and a school psychologist, all of which is working tirelessly to make sure we are laying those foundations and working proactively for your child. I say this because in the past, if your child has had the opportunity to work with a reading specialist or a math specialist or the social worker, you may have gotten a letter. And we may continue in some cases for you to know maybe the progress of the child, right? But it's not a question of if any longer at Clover Bank. If your child is going to see an intervention specialist, it's when. And the reason why is because we have a shared belief here at Clover Bank of that idea of personalized instruction, and also of making sure that students are reaching or doing their very best. We also know the more we put in the proactive part, whether that's the pre-teaching of math lessons or pre-teaching of sixth grade skills with our reading specialists for some of our kids, or working in friendship groups, that is best for children. The reactionary part, when we know we're already struggling or already not feeling comfortable at school, we know that that doesn't work so much. So we have worked really tirelessly here to make sure that we're embedding this entire team into the culture of our building to do what's best for kids. So take a look at those lists, though that team, as well as our amazing special areas of of art and library, physical education, and music. How can I forget Mr. Panfill? They will be with us during parent information nights. Please stop by. It's been a couple years since we were able to welcome parents in and get to know each other. So please stop by us in the foyer, introduce yourselves so that we can all put a face with a name, right? Okay, so I'm going to leave you with this. Again, I cannot wait to see you on Tuesday and Thursday. I hope you stop by and say hello. Please come to the foyer. Our amazing PTA will be selling some Clover gear. Like I said, we'll have laptops to help you with the links for the do not photo and the code of conduct. We'll have eSchool information for you. Like I said, the special area teachers and this amazing parent reference guide. Enjoy your time with your teachers tonight. Ask questions and enjoy the amazing learning environments they have created. And my promise to you as we begin this amazing 2022-2023 school year is that we will love your child every single day. We will treat them as our own because we are a family here at Clover Bank. And of course, we are going to work in partnership. You are your child's first teacher, and together is the only way that we can be successful. For my kindergarten parents, we're on a long journey together, 6 years. And for my fifth grade parents, I can't believe that we're on our farewell tour this year. So with that, I thank you. Thank you for listening to my video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, and I truly mean this, I've said this before, for the opportunity to be a part of your child's journey. We take that responsibility very seriously, and we thank you for trusting your children with us. Have the best day, and we'll see you next week. Oh, I'm sorry. You're getting this on Monday, so we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.